Well, Charlotte, it wasn't meant to be in Canberra, but it's just set it up for a grandstand finish, hasn't it, on Sunday?
Yeah, obviously it's a bit disappointing, but we've never had 2 bites at the cherry before, so we're just trying to look at it as, yeah, a bit of destiny, a bit of another way to make history, and yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, does it? I mean, what happened yesterday, and how do you make sure it doesn't happen again on Sunday? And snap out of it and put in a proper Sydney FC?
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a bit actually on the long Canberra trip home, and I just think that the way we play, we're so aggressive, like we have such a front foot game. It is difficult when we have those midweek games to sort of play with that intensity, and then when we go out I think we get maybe a little bit tired. So I think, like, reflecting upon the game, we probably could have maintained better possession, especially in that first half, and not tried to maybe go every time, and just recycled it a bit more. But that's also our style of play, so that's why we've gotten to where we are. So it's that kind of fine line between maybe maintaining a little bit more possession, but it's still being that, aggressive, attacking Sydney FC style.
Do you think it was also, I guess, going into the game knowing that you could get, a league record? Did that, I guess, play into the mindset going into the game?
I don't know. I'd like to think not, but I guess, like, we're only human, and there was a lot of the girls, like, we have a really different team this year, so a lot of the girls haven't been in that position before. A lot of them, were really excited and were probably really nervous reflecting upon it. Like, this is, my 4th time going into a game like that, so I didn't feel it as much in terms of, I was trying to forget that it was a big game. I was trying to just be like, this is any other game. Because I know that those feelings can get the better of you, especially when I've been in those positions in previous years in grand finals and things like that. But we did have a lot of girls that haven't been in that position before, so I definitely think it could have played a part. Yeah.
I think if the stars align, like, you can win the league and knock Melbourne Victory out of the top 6, right? Is that like a double victory for you guys?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like maybe sometimes the victory thing's more thought that there's that kind of rivalry than what it is. I think that there's, like, a lot of respect, and I would never. I'm also, I don't know, I like to think like I'm a kind person, and I don't like the idea of ruining someone else's opportunity to be in a final. Like, that doesn't make me happy, but I just want to win it for ourselves. So I'm more just thinking about us and winning that premiership plate for the 4th time in a row, because I think that would be something that not many people are going to, there's not many teams that are going to come and do that again. So it's like my own way of, having a piece of history in the A-League.
You talked about being tired, I guess, playing a midweek game, but I guess are you perceiving this as, I guess, momentum going into Sunday? Yeah,
I think for sure. I think, as I said, we've won the last few premierships in this situation where it's been do or die in the last game. So I think that after the game, obviously we're upset, but then we just, like, all got around each other and we're like, no, this is destiny. Like, this is how it's meant to be. This is how we've always done it. Like, we're going to rise. And yeah, I just hope that we, really actually mean that when we say it, and we go into training, have 2 really good games and 2 really good days of training, and recover well and come in on Sunday firing.
How proud are you of just being in this position? Because it wasn't, it wasn't a dominant season the whole way through, was it? You had bad injuries, players left, and you've had to kind of work your way back in top spot. It's been, like I was saying,
when we do win this, premiership, touch wood, it will definitely be the sweetest or the most hard-earned one. We've had such a hard year. It's been, the longest season in history, plus we flew to Uzbekistan in the middle of it and played 3 extra games. So what we've done, it's been so difficult, and it's been a really tiring and a really long season, and there's definitely been moments where, we've all had to take time to reflect and be like, are we getting the best out of ourselves? Are we handling this? And we've all learnt and grown so much. And I'm so, if you had told me in January that we'd be where we are now, like, I'd be like, no way. So I'm just, I'm so happy, and I'm so proud of what we've done and what we've achieved, and anything from now on is just a bonus.
Courtney Vine had a bit of an ankle injury late in the match. She's all good though, right?
Yeah, I think she'll be okay. I think ankles are, I think when someone goes down with an ankle, I'm always like, okay, it's not a knee or anything like that. I'm pretty confident it'll be okay. Yeah.
Okay, great. And what are you expecting on, it's Leichhardt Stadium, Leichhardt Stadium? Oval. I knew someone was right. Leichhardt Oval, on a Sunday, Easter Sunday, it should be quite a festival.
Yeah, obviously I'm so excited. It's going to be a great day. We've gotten such amazing crowds this year at Leichhardt Oval. I feel like every single game, it just somehow gets bigger and bigger, and the crowd gets louder and louder, and the fans get kinder and kinder with they've given us so many beautiful gifts, and they've made things and bracelets, and I got, like, a cross-stitched, like, memorial thing there. It was so cool. So it's just been amazing, and I think that was part of the reason that we actually switched during the season, because we were getting these amazing crowds at Leichhardt and we weren't playing our best, and we were like, people are coming to watch us for the first time, like, and really coming to watch us, and we need to take this opportunity and not take it for granted. And I think that, honestly, I do think like the fans were part of the reason that our season turned around. I really think that they helped us so much be, you know, this is bigger than us. There's people watching, and we need to perform and be the Sydney FC that we have been. So yeah.
You've also been able to do it with, you know, a pretty young squad as well. How good is it to know, I guess, you know, the talent is still coming to Sydney FC even if older players leave?
Yeah, it's been a challenge with the young ones this year. They've, you know, it's hard. They are so young. They're so talented, and they're such great girls. And I'm so proud of them. You know, every time they enter on that field, I'm like, you guys, you're gonna be stars. But in saying that, it is really hard as well, like mentally, to play with so many young players. But we've handled it so well, and they've learnt so quickly the way that we play and the mentality of Sydney FC. So yeah, I couldn't be prouder of them.
What about Ante Juric? I mean, I think he can't officially be the coach of the year, right? Because he got a red card.
Yeah, he did actually.
Maybe it was deserved. I'm not even sure. Don't think about it. But
yeah.
But is he the coach of the year in your eyes? And with Tony Gustafsson's deal running out at the Olympics, would he be interested in being a Matilda's coach, and should he be?
Yeah, I mean, I'm obviously biased, but I'm like the biggest Ante Juric supporter. I mean, I think he should have gotten it every year, especially last year when it was the double. Like, that's pretty crazy to me that we got the double and he didn't, especially when our like defensive record, I think that tells more about a coach than an attacking record. I think defensive is all about structure and organisation, and like he's the person that sets that up, and he's the one that drives that within us. And I think that's such a big reflection on him as a coach. And I think that it is upsetting when he doesn't get that recognition, when I think it's such a clear indicator of how much of an amazing coach he is. And yeah, in terms of Matilda's, like, I have no idea. I guess that's up to them and whoever, but obviously he'd be my first pick.
What's the coolest gift you've got? All those gifts you're saying you've got from fans. What's the coolest
I mean, the bracelets are really sweet, like when they have your name on it and stuff like that. And yeah, again, like someone stitched these. It was like a circle, I think it's called cross stitch, and they made these beautiful, and everyone had different ones. They were like personalised, so like Shay got like a sunset, and Prinny got like a crown, and I got this like love heart thing. It was really cute. So yeah, that was probably the best one we've got.
Just looking ahead, obviously, you know, finals are still a while away, but with the title race being so close, how tight do you imagine the final series is going to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be really hard. I think as well, like most teams are going to get that 2 weeks or 1 week, and then, you know, you play, but sort of like 2 weeks, I guess, when you look at it, off. So everyone's going to be like ready and raging. I also think the home and away leg is a really different setup that I don't know how everyone's going to deal with it. I don't think anyone in the whole of finals would have played that before, so I imagine it's going to be a really interesting mental game, that if you lose that first game, like coming into the second, but then also if you win, you know, coming in and not being too confident. So yeah, I'm really interested. I don't know what it's going to look like, but yeah, it's going to be tough.
Erin, anything from you?
Yes, hi, how are you?
Good, thanks. How are you?
Just wanted to check, sorry, circling back. You mentioned the longer season. How have you found that as a player, having been in the A-Leagues for so long? Have you enjoyed the full home and away season? Has it been grueling?
Yeah, I definitely have, you know, a full home and away season is something we've been fighting for a really long time. I think that in terms of like the resources and stuff like that, it probably does need to improve. I think more funding into recovery, you know, availability, things like that would be good, because I do think we've seen a lot of injuries, really, really upsetting injuries, like Kirsty's just done her ACL the back end, Hannah Keene's just torn her patella tendon. Like those are two of the best players in the league. So I think that, yeah, I think that we're also seeing a really high increase in the number of injuries. So I do think that there's maybe something there that needs to be fixed. I don't know what that is, but yeah, obviously I've loved it. It's been challenging, but yeah, I just think maybe in terms of with the full home and away season, I'd love to see next year maybe better access to like recovery resources and stuff like that for all the teams.
And what about the quality of the competition? Like, for instance, we just saw Canberra United have a pretty tough game against you guys and come away with the win. But we've seen it all season where anyone could beat anyone. Like, what does that say for the future of women's football?
Yeah, I think that's I think that's football though. Like, I think sometimes those games happen more than you think because you've got one team that's fighting for everything and one team that's fighting for nothing, and it's a really confusing momentum and mental game. I think that's just kind of soccer, I guess. Like, I've definitely seen results like that in the past, but this year's definitely been a bit of a wacky season. Like, the fact that it's been so tight that literally until maybe 2 weeks ago, like, we had 9 or 10 teams fighting for the 6 spots has been really interesting. So yeah, I don't know, maybe you're onto something, but
And you mentioned the crowds have, been in the A-Leagues women's for a while. You noticed the impact then from the World Cup?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. Especially our team, because we've got Court and she was such a, prolific face in that World Cup. Our crowds have been just amazing. Even when we go away, like, our crowds are still really, really good. And it has been so exciting, and I really do hope that, the league gets on board and really invests in it, because there is a market and there is people that want to come and they want to see the women's game. So I really hope we take advantage of that, because it is so exciting, and like the fans are so lovely and they're just so happy, and it's just the best feeling when you finish a game, win or lose, and yeah, you see them and they're so supportive and they just want to be there.
Yeah, it's been fantastic, even from watching from the outside to see the support. I guess one last question, just looking to the future. You mentioned how great the full home and away season is something that the players have been fighting for a long time. What's next? Where does the A-League women's competition need to go next?
That's a good question. I guess we're always aiming for full professionals. So at the moment we're part-time, and obviously I guess the aim would be to get to that full-time professionalism, because hopefully then we'll have access to those full-time physios and full-time massage and things like that, where I think maybe our bodies might be able to handle the schedule a bit better. I do think we have seen a really, really high number of injuries this year, and whether that's coincidence, I don't know, but I think that that will be a big part of women's football in the future. If we want to contest with the likes of the WSL and NWSL, it's, if you look at those leagues, they're full-time, we're not. So until we get that full-time professionalism and we don't have, girls working all day and then coming to training and then playing on the weekends, like, you can't expect people to be at their best when they're playing playing under those circumstances. So I guess it's just, getting that full-time professionalism.
Fantastic, thanks so much.
All good.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, Charlotte.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
You said to me before that one of your favourite moments in football was winning the plate at Cromer against Victory.
Yeah.
Do you call upon that sort of experience being one of the more senior players in the squad this weekend?
Yeah, I actually was. Like, and again, the game before the Victory game was actually against Canberra, and we lost that game. So it's really quite crazy. Touch wood. It's really quite crazy. So we're trying to pull on all those other things, but also focusing on ourselves and just sticking to the process and not getting too overwhelmed with the big moment. But in saying that, we've been in this position before and we're not, we're used to it. So I don't think we will get overwhelmed by the moment.